Welcome to the Rest of Us podcast. We are celebrating our 1-year anniversary of doing the podcast.
Hooray.
Yay. And then as a celebration for this very special day, we're going to do what Lucas and I kicked this podcast off with, which is a couples quiz, because it also comes in perfect timing for Valentine's Day. So we found some random couples quiz online, and we're going to pick our just like questions from them. And before we start, Lucas had a very important comment about a candy that you wanted to ask.
Oh, yeah. Why don't we buy more peanut brittle?
I feel like because it gets
peanut
stuck
brittle.
to your teeth.
I don't know. I just thought that it looks really good, and I like peanut brittle.
I
remember having it, and then every time I had it, I was like, where do we get this stuff? And then it was just like once a year we bought it.
I love brittle. Peanut is a very strong flavor.
I completely forgot what I was talking about.
Lucas is like, we definitely need to talk about this on the podcast. And I looked at him. And
I saw it at I was watching YouTube shorts, and I was just like watching this guy, and he made peanut brittle, and it was like candy and like spread out, and then he was cutting it up with scissors and like knives and stuff, and I was like, why don't we have peanut brittle more often?
It was the blankest of blank stares that I was looking at when I asked him that question just now. So in the vein of that, okay, my first question that I'm picking is...
what kind of candy do you like? Never mind.
Where did we have our first kiss? Very romantic because it's Valentine's Day.
We had our first kiss in your bedroom in Oceanside.
Okay. When?
I don't remember the exact date, but I knew that we had you had a little get together over the weekend, and then
Parents were out of town.
Sorry, Scott.
And then he was kissing me in my bedroom.
And then we just kissed. Okay, it wasn't that big of a deal.
We sure did. And guess what? I flossed my teeth first.
Yes, you did. Yeah, you did. Getting ready for bed.
Okay, that's what I thought.
And then that was it. I kissed you, and then we fell asleep, and then I snored, and everyone was like, "Who the hell is that?"
Yeah, we also fell asleep in like a big group of people downstairs in the living room because we had a love sack at the time.
Yeah.
And
everybody fell asleep down there.
Yeah, it was just like
there's like 6 people like laying everywhere, just a bunch of Marines, like typical Marines.
And Lucas was snoring so embarrassingly bad, and he still does. Even I just did like a story recently, and one of our friends that we went to Brazil with was like, "Is that Lucas?" And I was like, "No, it's the cat," because I was recording the cat sleeping, but I didn't turn the volume on. When I turned the volume on, you were sleeping. So I responded, "No, it's the cat," and he said, "Oh, because it sounds like someone needs a CPAP machine." And it was actually Lucas. But one of our military friends, or my military friends at the time, was like, "Just push him on his side." So I pushed him on his side, and he still snored like horrendously. And to this day, I get no sleep. And I actually remember thinking this like first night Lucas like slept in a place that I could see him sleep, that I thought that maybe the snoring was going to be a deal breaker. And it wasn't.
No, it's not.
And now I just get horrible sleep at this stage of my life.
She loves me. That's how much she loves me.
I do. You can survive sleep apnea. Okay, your turn.
All right, my question. Would I rather be invisible or be able to read your mind?
I feel like you're so goofy, I would say invisible, but I feel like I would say reading minds. I feel like if I had to pick, I feel like my rational brain is saying reading minds is the superior of the two things. But what would you pick?
What would I pick?
I'm gonna say final answer. I knew it. Yeah. I knew he was goofy enough that he would pick invisible. But I hope everybody listening also thinks.
I'm a man of integrity, but let me tell you something. If I was invisible, we'd be rich. Okay.
Okay. Next question. Let's see. How would I handle a medical emergency?
Oh, you wouldn't handle that very well. It'd be the worst thing ever for you. If I was the medical emergency,
it doesn't specify.
I'm assuming that.
Please tell everybody what came to your mind.
Right, what came to my mind is I'm having a medical emergency, and Rachel has to deal with it. She's going to be so angry because I'm whatever medical
You're
problem I'm
you're having a medical problem and you can't handle it, and I'm mad at you
and
for
you're mad
it.
at me for that because I'm not helping you handle the situation
About yourself.
And then you're like, wait, what do I do? And you're like 911, and then you call them, and they're like, going, well, is he breathing? She's like, I don't know. Like I could just see a meltdown. Get here now. And then when we get to the hospital, and I finally wake up from whatever problem I'm having, you're very upset.
Do you think
that I had a fucking medical emergency?
Do you think that having done jiu-jitsu for 3 years is going to make me better at that?
No, not at all. No, I just feel like it's just going to be, not only am I going to wake up from a heart attack, I'm going to wake up to an angry wife that I had a heart attack like it was something I chose to do.
Lucas is convinced that he's not waking up from this heart attack at all. He's actually praying for it.
I hope I don't wake up from this heart attack. I hope I just die and you get to just live your life because I don't want to sit here and be a part of this. You're being mad at me because I had a heart attack or a stroke, whatever it is that I'm having.
I guess it depends on if it was something that was hereditary or something that you caused by your lifestyle.
Well, hereditary is heart attack. So my dad's apparently he had like a week where he was having like 8 heart attacks and he didn't know.
Yeah, but your dad categorically.
He's not a drinker.
No, but you wouldn't be like, this man is in peak physical fitness.
No, you're right. You're right. But hold on. But I will say this: he doesn't,
and I mean that in the most respectful way possible. I love his father.
Yeah, he doesn't necessarily like physical training isn't his forte.
And you wouldn't look at him and be like, that's just because of his genes.
Yeah, no, you kind of look at him and go, well, he's a trucker, just eating them Waffle Houses and everything else.
You're up.
All right. Here's a question for you. Do I have any odd quirks?
Yes, Lucas has a nose clearing tick. Did you not think I was going to tell that to the whole world?
No, I thought you were going to something else.
That is a quirk of yours.
Yeah, I guess
most people don't walk around going.
Yeah, most people don't.
We're on an airplane where everyone is like, oh my God, people are going to get me sick. And the guy sitting next to Lucas, when he sits in the middle seat for me, so I don't have to sit next to a man I don't know, he'll sit in the middle and be just like clearing. He'll be watching a movie.
Yeah, I do that. Sorry, guys.
So, although I will say he has been checked out by an ENT, he does have burn damage in his sinus passages.
That is true, I do.
And probably contributes to it. Okay. Next question. Next question. What is our funniest memory together?
That's so hard, like out of nowhere to answer that.
I know, to pick the funniest is just a lot of responsibility.
The funniest is hard as hell. Funniest memory. I know our funniest memory, and you're gonna agree.
Okay.
Rachel and I went to Florence, Italy.
I knew.
And we went out to it was the first time that I was.
Was this really the funniest? Do we have to share this?
It's the funniest one. It was the best one. It was the best. I'm telling you. You could ask the people who were there. They'll tell you. They were all French too. They'll tell you. We went to a nice little dinner because it was the first time that Rachel and I had been able to go out, get a bottle of wine, get whatever food we wanted. It was the first time that we were doing well. After 5 years of marriage, or just the regular beginning struggle, about 5 years,
7, something like that.
A friend of ours, Katie and Michael got married in Florence, Italy, and we flew to Florence and we stayed at a Borgo, and a Borgo de Ricci was the place we stayed at. It was a beautiful farmhouse. That's what French for farmhouse, and.
Italian.
All right. Oh my God, Italian. Well, this might be the funniest moment. Italian for farmhouse because I was thinking about something else. Anyways,
he's about to tell the funniest memory that involves me being an idiot. So I just had to quit. So go, babe. Tell them.
Stop being so loud on the microphone, Rachel. So we went out to a little restaurant that was right up the road, and we walked there, and it was nice. It was tiny. The hostess spoke English, and we were able to get down to a table, sit down. We ordered a bottle of wine. We ordered some pasta, and it was a nice, romantic, quiet, small restaurant in Florence, Italy, and it was beautiful. And Rachel had a couple glasses of wine. Well, we had a bottle.
Or a bottle.
We had a bottle, but the hostess was like, "Would you like to take this? So I can throw everything away." And I was like, "No. I'm like, we paid for that. We're gonna drink it." And so it was fantastic wine. And Rachel was before we paid. Rachel was like, she's like, "I gotta go to the bathroom." I was like, "Okay." She goes to the bathroom, and I'm sitting there, and I'm just drinking wine, and I'm like, just taking it in. I'm in Florence, Italy. It's beautiful. Vineyards. It was evening time. The actual front doors were open. It was dark, so it was like night, but it was so nice. The breeze was so perfect. It was like just memorable. And Rachel goes to the bathroom, and while she was in the bathroom, it's real quiet. I mean, there's probably about 10 to 15 tables in this whole place. Like, we were in a tiny village where these people probably went here every night to eat. And all of a sudden, there's this alarm that is going off, and the light comes on outside of the bathroom where Rachel was in. It's going off hardcore. And I looked over, and then people are looking at me, and I'm like, and then the hostess runs over to the bathroom, and she turns off the alarm, and then it gets quiet. Everyone starts to chuckle. The whole restaurant goes. And then about 2.5 minutes later, here comes Rachel, opens the door like nothing happened, right? Like nothing happened. Walks over and sits down, and I looked at her square in the face, and she's just like, "I thought it was to flush the toilet." And we laughed so hard. And then it was fun because it was so funny, and the hostess was just so nice about it, and everybody in the entire restaurant were just laughing at us.
The only person who was making fun of me was Lucas. I was looking at him, I was like, "It's okay, we can both keep a straight face." I looked at Lucas, and he just had this shit-eating grin on his face.
So equally for me to say it was French. The whole context, that was probably our favorite funny memory.
It was pretty funny.
It was funny. And then we walked back, and when we were walking back, before we walked back, Rachel asked the hostess, she's like, "Hey, is there like a taxi?" And she's like, "Well, where are you going?" And then I was like, I said Borgo de Ricci, and then she was just like, "It's right there. Why do you need a car?" Because Rachel was like, "I've been drinking and I don't want to walk."
There was no sidewalk. There was two short knee-high walls.
They drove so fast down that little country
light.
road.
Yeah.
None whatsoever.
And I didn't want to die. American Tourist gets obliterated by small car was going to be the headline.
Either way, we walked back, and then we had a wonderful evening. We just laid down, and it was good.
That was a good, funny memory.
That was a funny memory. That was funny.
Europe.
That was so funny. Europe, dude. Let's see.
This is going to be your last question, so make it good.
Oh, man. Let me look at one. What is my traveling deal breaker?
Not having TSA pre-check.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Or global entry.
Or global entry. What were you thinking, though? That was just so recent. It's what popped in my head first.
I don't know. I was just hoping that you knew what my traveling deal breaker was.
Also, we both hate getting sick and flying.
That sucks.
And it's happened to us twice in the last 6 months. And
especially when you get on the plane and you're sick.
And it's an international flight. and you're stuck on it, and then you're looking and you fall asleep and it was horrible for 2 to 3 minutes, and then or for 2 to 3 hours, and you look and there's still 7 more hours.
That sucks.
And then you have to land, and then you have to get your bags, and then you have to like go get your car, which
especially when the bags don't come out when you get down to the baggage claim.
and somehow our bag is always last, and then we have to go
I don't
take.
understand that. I would like to meet the person who hit the first bag that came.
Maybe it's because we have like 50-pound bags. Maybe it's like the size of it makes it.
It's possible.
And then we in Atlanta, we park at the ATL West parking lot. So then you have to take a tram that runs like every 18 minutes or something, and then that to your car in the parking lot,
sucks.
and then you go home, and then
still
you
have a
are ready to
20-minute
go home.
Well, let's remember, Atlanta, you have a 5-minute ride on a train to get away from the concourse that you were on, just to get back to baggage claim, and then you have another 5-minute train ride to where your car is parked, and then you have a 25-minute drive back to your apartment if you're in the city.
Yeah. Let's not end on that note. Let's do one more question. I take it back.
Right,
this is not the last question.
Yeah.
Okay. What's a memorable experience I've had with an animal?
When we were in Turkey, that old horse.
Oh, I did have a memorable experience.
You forgot
The
about
trail
it?
horse.
Yeah.
And then Lucas, well, I kind of blotted it out because Lucas is like, that horse doesn't care about you at all, is what he told me. I was like, oh, it was so cute. And I wrote on it and I looked at it and it was very sweet. It really loved like the family's 7-year-old daughter. I guess it was her
that was
horse.
so cute because she kept on like looking over at her and walking over to her to hang
Yeah,
out.
that horse loved that child.
Yeah.
Me, I was like, oh, it's so sweet. And Lucas is like, that horse thinks about you not at all.
I'm not trying to be mean. It's just like it's a horse is, it's got its favorite people and just like it knows its job.
I was thinking,
But when we were riding on horseback, like it was just that was beautiful.
it was beautiful.
In Turkey, it was.
We
just
highly
amazing.
recommend doing that because also it's so quiet out there. Like, don't do something stupid like ATVs. It's like,
Oh yeah,
There's,
keep,
like,
keep
no-
the peace, dude.
yeah, the
Keep the
best
peace.
thing about that place is like there's no overhead plane sounds, like there's no car noises,
Yep.
and it's really nice to just be able to like ride a horse in the middle of the wilderness and just hear nothing but like the horses and the
And
trail.
then you get to see a sunset and then like a small town like.
Yeah, it's very beautiful. I was thinking if you were going to say the cat when we adopted the cats.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because I never had cats before, and Lucas
Oh,
brought
yeah.
these
I
two
brought
kittens
two
home.
kittens home. I brought 2 kittens home because I was like, I have a surprise for you. And you're like, what? And I'm like, I just like hear me out. And then when I pulled in the little bag, you're like going, oh my God. And I opened
No,
it.
you told me. He told me that he adopted them and showed. So he had told me he like adopted them because I went into an acting class and he
yeah.
adopted 2 cats. And then I was like, babe, we are
right.
not having. We lived in an RV and we liked traveling and stuff. I was like, we're not getting pets right now. And then Lucas showed me a picture and be like, I already adopted them. Are you gonna have me tell these 2 cute little babies? They're like, it's a picture from the foster parents because they weren't even available at the shelter. Are you gonna tell me these 2 cute little babies? No, you don't want them, and that they have to go back.
Yeah.
And I was like, we don't even have them yet. And then I looked at him. I was like, no. So then we go there, and Lucas like takes me to the cat room, and I fall in love with like 8 other cats like in the room. I don't know why you did that to me. And I was like, no. I was like, what
Because there
about
was
this one?
like an older cat that was just like kneading up on everybody that came into the room.
And there's
like
like a
purring and-
sick cat that was like also very sweet
yeah.
and like still undergoing stuff and not quite
Adopt
adoptable.
any cat, by the way, any dog, cat, whatever
Any cat would
animals
be
that's
great.
there, whatever animals in the adoption room, just take one home. You don't have to take all of them. Just take one, and
That's how it starts. We have 3 cats in this house.
just bring one home.
So Lucas then, after it took a couple days because the way the fostering process before they brought them back, what were the names originally? Florence and Natalia
yeah,
or something like
it was
that.
Florence and
I mean, Aria does kind of look like a Florence.
Aria does look like a Florence.
That would have worked.
Probably could have kept the name, but
Yeah, we could have given her a bunch of names.
Yeah.
So they came out of their little carrier and like they were
Yep.
shaking their little feet and looking around and searching, and they were tiny, tiny
yep,
kittens.
tiny kittens.
And my memorable memory with Ellie was I had never had a cat before, and this little itty bitty kitten fell asleep looking at me in the eyes, and then she just got and she started purring. She like licked herself and like laid down, and we were like nose to nose, and I fell asleep, and I woke up 9 hours later, and the kitten had not moved.
She's still right there.
She was right there. And then we both opened our eyes and looked at each other, and that was when I fell in love.
Yeah. And here she is 9 years later.
And we'll end on love because it's Valentine's Day. I hope you guys enjoyed this season of the Rest of Us podcast. I foresee us coming back around summertime. We have some really great guests like that we're lining up right now. And thank you for all of the support. Like and subscribe if you haven't so you don't miss any of the new interesting news. And then there's going to be more clips going up on Instagram that I haven't cut yet from some of the longer form podcasts that we've already done. But I'm very excited for season 2, and we will see you then.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day.